am being joined today by Vennard Wright, the CEO at PerVista AI. Vennard, thank you for hopping on with me today.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Yes, so we're excited to have you joining us at the 2026 Forum Innovation Awards. PerVista AI is doing something that stops people in their tracks, literally using AI to prevent active shooter events in real time. For those who haven't heard of PerVista yet, walk us through what you've built and the problems that you're solving.
Sure. So I'll start with the problem that I'm solving. So back in 2023 in Prince George's County, Maryland, which is where we're headquartered, there was an incident where three teenagers ran onto a school bus and attempted to shoot another teen. Thankfully, the gun jammed, but because of that, we really wanted to see what technology could do to keep students safe in schools. And that started the process of really uncovering what a major issue gun violence in the US is. And to put that in perspective, back in 2010, across the entire US, there were 10 school shootings. By the year 2023, that number had risen to 349. So, what we were looking to solve at that time exclusively was just making sure there were not active shooter events in schools and other public places. But since that point, we've evolved to also account for other types of threats, other types of weapons. So now what we are as a company is a combination of both software and hardware that we own, we built, we have patents for. And the goal is to make sure that we are picking up on threats, whether they are weapons, but also fights and other things that could be disruptive as well. So that's who we are as a company. We're a company that uses artificial intelligence to keep people safe.
This is really, really important. So now you've announced the first generation of your patent pending Fluorant, is it Fluorant enclosures?
That's correct. That's
So
correct.
it's a major milestone for your company. What does this mean for PerVista? And where does this fit into the bigger physical AI picture that you're building towards?
Sure. So originally we were exclusively SaaS, software as a service, and that would alert someone if there was a weapon detected, but that's where things would end. So, with us moving over into enclosures and robotics and some other things as well, we have the ability to be able to do something if a threat is detected. So, the Flare enclosures allow us to do that without touching the internet. Many of our customers do not want their detections or their video to go out into AWS or Azure or for it to touch the internet at all. So what these enclosures allow us to do is to be able to do detections without touching the internet. And once something is detected, we're able to take an action as well. So it really moves us into another space where the physical AI that we've developed is able to keep people safe.
Okay, and you describe this as the fusion of proprietary AI software as well as purposeful build physical infrastructure. In plain terms, what does that actually look like in a real world environment, say at a school, an arena, or a government building?
Sure. So if you are a school that doesn't have surveillance cameras that can work with computer vision, we can bring that technology to you. If you are an event venue where you maybe have a few events per year that are outdoors where you don't have camera or other surveillance equipment, we can bring that to you. So what it allows us to do is to work in more dynamic environments. And a good example of that would be with the university. So Bowie State University is one of our clients. Of course, every year universities have a homecoming. Well, homecoming is all over campus, and some parts of campus do not have any cameras or anything else that can really see what's going on. And our physical AI will allow us to close those gaps so that every part of campus is now safe. So that's really what the biggest advancement would be, the fact that we're now able to account for spaces where there previously was no infrastructure.
Okay. So now coming up at the Forum Innovation Awards on June 18th, you're going to be doing a live interactive demo of PerVista's technology. What can attendees expect to see and why should they make sure that they don't miss it?
Yes, so I appreciate that question. So we are going to bring out both our drones that we've already been using for events, and we can perform detections by using those drones. But most importantly, we're going to have our robotic dogs there as well. We're going to have one of our robotic dogs. And what that dog is going to do is it is going to walk into the crowd and identify the person who has the weapon. So in this case, it's not going to be an actual weapon, but part of what we do for testing is we do have some dummy guns that are blue that we go out and we prove that the technology works. And that's exactly what the robotic dog is going to be doing. It's going to be finding the person in the crowd that has the weapon. And that's precisely what our company is able to do. We can work in crowds and we can see if there are any people there who mean to bring harm to the crowd, and looking forward to that demo.
Yeah, it'll be amazing to see that in real time as well. So the GovCom community talks a lot about innovation, but your work sits at the intersection of public safety and emerging technology in a very tangible way. How does the federal market fit into PerVista's growth strategy?
So the federal market is a huge part of our growth strategy. So we have, of course, been working with K-12 schools, colleges, universities, even sports teams. But with the federal government and with where we are today, there are lots of opportunities for us to leverage our technology in a way that we can also benefit our government as well. So two that we are very interested in partnering with is Department of Defense, and the other would be Homeland Security. So the use cases we're looking at there is with Homeland Security, we can use our technology to see if drugs are being brought across the border. So we can detect drones that might be dropping drugs over the border, or we can see if there are humans that are bringing drugs across the border. So that's one use case. Now with the Department of Defense, and this is personal for me because I am the father of two active duty service members, one in the Navy and one in the Marines. What we are looking at doing is being able to see whether a drone swarm or something else is incoming. So I didn't talk a lot about our patent. So we do have a patent called Systems and Methods for Weapon Detection. And what that does is it combines the computer vision, which is what we've been talking about, with infrared for heat signatures and radar lidar for movement. And we can fuse all three down into a single event onto a processor and triple verify what's happening. Now, in the case of the US Navy, what that allows us to do is to be able to pick up a drone swarm further than computer vision could alone. So the sky itself is cold, and we could see with by using infrared that there is a drone swarm against the sky. But then in addition to that, we could see based on the way it's moving that yes, this is an actual drone swarm and not a swarm of insects or a flock of birds. So those three things allow us to do something that would be useful for the military. So definitely, it's a huge part of our growth strategy, and we're looking forward to using our technology to protect our warfighters as well.
Okay, and you mentioned there's more exciting updates on the horizon. Without giving too much away, what should the GovCon community be watching for from PerVista AI in the coming months?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is I've talked about receiving alerts and notifying people, but we're looking forward to being able to demonstrate that we can safely and autonomously take action if a threat does occur to make sure that people are safe. So examples of that would be if we're working in a school and there is the unfortunate case of someone being an active shooter, being able to use our technology to smartly guide people out of the building, but also to isolate the gunman. So those are things that we're looking at doing. We're looking at using our artificial intelligence in ways that can keep people safe, and also to make sure that it's being demonstrated that artificial intelligence can be a tool for good.
Okay, so for the small businesses and primes in the room at the Forum Innovation Awards, what kind of teaming or partnership opportunities should they be thinking about when it comes to PerVista?
So the biggest thing is we have not, as a prime, done any business with the government. And what we're looking for is partnering with people that do have that experience in working with government. So certainly we have the technology. We have demonstrated by engagements with customers that are not in the federal government that our technology works. So we're looking for partnerships with people that can use our technology and that can combine that with their past experience at the federal level. So we're really looking for implementers, we're looking for people that are great at services, and we're looking for people that have relationships with the agencies that we're looking to partner with.
Okay, and last question. Physical AI is an emerging category that a lot of people are just starting to understand. Where do you see this space in the next, say, 5 years, and what role will PerVista play in the shaping it?
So in the next 5 years, I do see that physical AI is going to be trusted to make decisions and to act when certain data points are input. So I think that you're going to see a lot more of that. You can see that with the wide adoption of robots that are able to shoot basketball and do all kinds of other things. And now that we're really building up in terms of data points, you're going to see robotics intersect with computer vision and AI and in a way that really is doing some things that are helping to make our lives a lot better. So in terms of where we are, we want to play in the public safety space. We want to play in national defense. And certainly we want to be part of what is helping to drive the field of physical AI forward.
Well, this is great. Bernard, we're very excited to see your demo coming up in June, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Looking forward to seeing you in June.